Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Muso to Muso. I hope you are all doing well. So nice to see so many of you in the chat so early on. Hope you are doing very well on this Tuesday evening. It's going to be a fun one tonight. It's going to be a hot one indeed. We've all got our shorts on, feeling very, very hot because we like it hot. Yes, we do. We've got a very, very fun one today because the introduction to how this all works to my special guest has been nothing less than not painful at all. It's been great. But no, we're going to be talking all things about Absolva, about Blaze Bayley, Fury UK, and many, many more things. But before we get into it, I want to just address the chat and say hello to a few people, a few regulars, and a few newcomers, and a few people who have not been in the stream in quite some time. Good old Joe May, welcome back, matey. Hope you are doing well. Sonny, hello. Jean Chevalier, Alan Fletcher, Ethan, Ice Gems, Eric, Moj, Jean Chevalier, Aki Vice. Aki Vice is in. We should have invited you over, mate. Sean Malls, Cy Thompson, first time chatter. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Eric over from Belgium, Metal Sam and Flo from France, fantastic. And Joe May, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. So I hope you are all doing well, sitting comfortably with a beer in hand and a little snack, because it's going to be one hell of a ride, that's for sure. So let's introduce my special guest for the evening. This is the final stream of the month as well, so I thought we'd finish with a bang this evening, so it's going to be a good one. My special guest today is the guitarist of Absolva, the vocalist of Absolva, guitarist of Blaze Bayley. He is my brother, Christopher Appleton. Where is it? There he is.
Yeehaw! Woohoo! I'm on!
Oh, yes. There he is.
Are you ready?
Here we go. You want some of this camera as well, Chris? There you go.
Hey.
Oh, my.
Oh!
Oh. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're here. Cheers. Welcome.
Cheers! Happy to be on.
Oh, yes. Right then, let's get this ball rolling. So the way that this is going to work, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a series of questions and a series of things that I want to talk about with Chris, all to do with how Chris got into music, Absolva, Fury UK, some Blaze Bayley stuff. But during that time, I want you to flood the chat with any questions you may have for either of us about any of the projects we're both involved with, or anything else if you're just interested about whatever. So, here we go. Let's get it started. I don't know why this is a bit different with you.
I don't know what you mean at all.
Right then, well, let's start off with something brand new, because in the introduction to this live stream, everyone was watching the brand new music video that was released just over an hour ago, Street Fighters of Blackford Bridge. Chris, would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
So, do I look at you or look at the camera?
You can look wherever you want.
Okay. Street Fighters of Blackford Bridge, latest Absolva single from our album Justice, and it was actually meant to be released on Friday, but Luke forgot. We did it over at the Waterloo in Blackpool, which was really, really great. We love it at the Blackpool Waterloo. Our very good friend Neil Holker, Holkner, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was doing the lights for us. He was doing all the choreography for the lights, and he did an amazing job. The first time I met Neil, he was actually the resident guy at the Waterloo. He's the caretaker, the lighting engineer, and lets people in, takes the deliveries, he does everything. He even mows the lawns on the bowling green outside the back. But I met him when I was probably about 14 years old, when I was still playing in the original Fury, my first band, and he was doing lights in all the different pubs in Blackpool, and then he just kept on turning up. I don't know which camera's on, Luke.
This one.
Yeah, I keep looking over at this screen.
I'm gonna flip between the three of them.
You should have these little lights underneath each camera saying "on air." so you know which one to look at.
I've got this on.
Yeah. Well, what if that one's on? Anyway. So yeah, that's the new music video, ladies. The new Absolva music video. Very happy with it. It's our first video back with Aki, so it's our first music video with the lineup, which has actually turned 12 months old already, Luke.
12 months old.
The four of us.
Jesus Christ.
Can you think of it like that?
No, it feels so much longer having him back now. Good old Aki.
Yeah. Hi, Aki. Is he watching?
He is watching. He's in the chat. Hello, Aki. So, yes, that is now officially out. So, if you want to go check the full video, out on YouTube, it is out there right now on Absolva's YouTube channel. It's very, very good. Little biased to say, but
yeah,
it's my favourite music video
check it out,
so far.
Get the link and share it on your social media. Give us a step up. We really want to hit this one hard.
Yeah.
Get that share button involved.
Yeah, share it on everything. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Get it out there for us, people. It would be amazing. Right, we've talked about something new. Let's go back to the beginning, Chris. So, let's talk about how you got into music. So, tell us about the beginning. Where did it start with you finding your love for the guitar?
So, I did have a toy guitar when I was about 2 or 3 or 4 years old, like one of these electronic things that didn't actually tune up properly, and it was almost like a keyboard. So I remember having that, but that was just nothing more than a toy. But that was still like an early memory before, actually really getting into it. But I suppose I was about 8 or 9 years old, and Boss, our father, was in a covers band called Kit the Cat, and it's don't get offended, anybody. He says no animals were hurt or damaged in making the Kick the Cat posters. It was all friendly, but they. He was gigging all the time, and I remember Dad used to bring back his Vox amp and his guitar case, and that'd be stood in the hall on a Sunday morning because he'd been gigging the night before, and there'd be this smell, and it was actually cigarette smell because that's all the pubs smelled like. I know Boston never smoked, but I used to just think that was what pubs smelled like, which probably was. But I also thought that's what bands smelt like, and music smelt like. It's like, that's the smell. And so they were really, really busy, so I remember that. And then Kit the Cat, if they had like a get-together in the summer, and the drummer Graham used to have barbecues, and Kit the Cat used to just play in his conservatory, full pelt with a bloody drum kit, bass guitar and guitar, all cranked up with a little PA. And I suppose I'd seen this before, but then this particular occasion, Dad was like ripping through, it could have been something like Serves Me Right to Suffer. Who did that? Walter Trout. And goes off on one of his big 5-minute, 10-minute guitar solos, and then everybody at this party just had the jaw on the floor with Dad going mental. It's weird calling him Dad instead of Boss.
Very strange.
If we say Boss, everybody, we're actually referring to our father, Mark Appleton.
That's the code word for Mark Appleton right now.
And yeah, I just remember all these jaws on the floor with him going into this guitar solo, and something just clicked that day. I thought, I want to do that. I want to be that whizzo kind of a guitar thing, and go, and everybody goes, whoa, what was that? And that was kind of it then. 9th birthday. So my 9th birthday in the August, I asked for a guitar. He bought me a 30 quid classical acoustic guitar, and said, you can learn on this, and then if you stick with it, then we'll get like something else then. Obviously he didn't want to spend like 500 quid on my first guitar, and then I lasted 2 months, and then we're putting it, back in the shop.
And then the next guitar would have been the SG.
Well, I was kind of playing the classical acoustic, learning my chords and learning Johnny B. Good and my first Gary Moore stuff and Bad Company stuff. And then I kind of infiltrated Boss's guitars. So we had a Fender Heavy Metal Strat white, which I kind of destroyed. Destroyed the whole whammy bar, and I think I screwed the whammy bar in too tight, and then I started to like, oh, what's all this? This isn't on this other one. And then he had like an Ibanez Les Paul, which the neck was almost hanging off. I bet I could fix it now, actually, if I saw it. But there was another turning point, because I was really into Bad Company and Gary Moore and all these kind of like soft rock bands and the blues stuff and Johnny B. Good. And then I actually think, I don't even think it was Boss, I think Mum had put an AC/DC album, put the Highway to Hell album on. And then I just walked into the room and went, what the hell is this? What is this voice? Is this a girl? Is this a boy? It's like, I've never heard this kind of voice in my life so high. Bon Scott. And I was like, what is this? And this guitar. And then I saw a picture of him, and then saw some other photographs of him, and I thought, what's this insane little dude running around the stage with an SG and schoolboy uniform and horns. And that was it then. I was absolutely AC/DC mad for years, all the way through high school.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I remember that. Not being a fan of it either when I was growing up.
Well, yeah. I couldn't get away from it. All my school books had AC/DC on them. I had to have that was like, moving on to like my own guitar. It was like, right, yeah, Gibson SG. It's got to be, there's no other guitar in the world now. Now I've discovered this band. And even during this time, I kind of discovered Sabbath. So because he had an SG as well, I thought, oh, well, this is double trouble. This is, if Sabbath and Angus Young have SGs, then that's it.
So, moving on, you've obviously learnt how to play guitar. You've discovered a couple of your favourite bands. It's time to do it yourself now, kind of thing. Now, if my memory serves correctly, did you start playing with Kit the Cat first, or did you form your own band first?
It was all kind of around the same time. I was talking about this recently, actually. My actual first proper performance in front of an audience was actually, I joined in Bury, where we are right now. I joined Carol Godby's theatre workshop, having drama lessons, which, because I thought I could be, Angus Young and Mel Gibson at the same time. So I thought I was going to be the next Mad Max and the next Angus Young. So I was having drama lessons, and then Carol Godby Drama School, she puts on a theatre production once a year, or used to anyway. I don't know if she still does. I know she's still around in Bury. And then, of course, we're in the late 90s, early 2000s here. Late 90s, where if you didn't sound like Oasis or Blur, you were in a pop band or a boy or girl band, or you're one of these solo singers. So the entire production had all these, what I just call boy bands and girl bands, Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls copies. And she said, oh, what do you want to do, Chris? And I says, I've got a backing track for Johnny B. Good and Walking By Myself, Gary Moore. And then I've got these two 30-watt transistor Marshall amps, which have figured out a way of plugging them both together so I could get 60 watts. So I've got these backing tracks, and it's like, oh, and where's the production, Miss Godby? And she says, oh, it's at Middleton Civic Hall. We've sold 600 tickets. So I was like,
Nice.
oh, that's not a bad first gig, I suppose. And it was absolutely brilliant. Everybody stood up and applauded me, probably because they were bored shitless of all this bloody boy band stuff, that was on before. So, yeah, that was my first gig. And then in school, Mr. Clayton got sacked from the staff band in high school. So it was... Then I suddenly replaced one of the teachers in the teachers' band, which was very controversial among students. But at the same time that was happening, I did this performance with the staff band. I met a couple of other guys because I really wanted to enter the band competition, Power Sound, at Ratcliffe Civic Hall, our local Bury Council band competition. So there was a guy called Ollie on drums at high school, Danny Collins on guitar, Johnny Greenhouse on bass, me on lead, and then there was a guy taller than Hightower, Tom Burrows on vocals. And everybody was kind of an average musician apart from me, and it wasn't like I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I kind of had to coach everybody. And so we just picked the most basic songs. So it was All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix, because you just, the bass line, as you know, B, A, G, A, B throughout the entire song.
Yeah.
But then it's got 4 massive guitar solos, and I thought, oh, perfect. And then Tom the singer was a massive U2 fan. So U2 did a cover of All on the Watchtower in a different key.
Right.
So if I gave him a wireless mic, he'd just run around the school hall singing All on the Watchtower, thinking he was Bono. And meanwhile, I was stood on stage thinking I was Angus. And then the rest of the guys thought they were in Nirvana. So it was incredible. But then the problem came is because I wanted to get in the pubs. I wanted to do what Kit the Cat was doing, playing covers and getting into the pubs, earning some money, and playing some proper music in the rough brawling bars of North Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there was another bass player I had to get because Johnny was getting fed up with the music we're doing. So I got a guy called Andrew Grover on bass. It was a bit of a wet lettuce in the end, because I booked a pub gig in Whitefield with Dean Casement, who used to work at the guitar shop that I started work at. And as soon as I got a pub gig, his mum and dad wouldn't let him out of the house to go and do the pub gig. So I'm like, well, what's the point then? So we did another high school production at Ratcliffe Civic Hall with all the orchestras and all things, so we could go and do that. But if it was a pub, a nasty, dirty pub where men drinking beer and listening to loud music, it's like, no, my son's not going to that.
That's right. Let's take a moment to just, because the chat is going a little bit crazy, because we got Mike as well.
Oh,
who probably, apart from the parents, he arguably goes the furthest back with us in the chat right now. Hello, Mike. Mike and Joe May talking about their time at Schoolfest coming up. Someone here asking about going back to what you were talking about with the SG. He was very surprised to see that you've switched over to a Telecaster, Stratocaster at the moment. That was an interesting switch for you, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I've had that Strat for a long time, like 20 odd years or something, maybe longer, because it was Ads, the old drummer of Fury, that I bought it off. It was his Strat.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that.
I managed to buy it off him for 180 quid, and it's a Japanese Fender Strat, which are quite sought after now. And then I ripped all the electrics out because I wanted a Strat to sound like an SG. But then I figured out, because I was already working at the guitar shop from age 13, which is about the same time this was all happening with the high school band. So I started getting into all the electronics and stuff, of ripping pickups out of guitars and making things change, and pickups and amps and whatever, pedals. And so John Doyle, who you know very well, I was working with him, and he kind of taught me all this technical stuff which I didn't really know. So I ripped out these 2 pickups out of this SG and put hot rails and a JB Junior in the neck and bridge, and then only to later figure out that that's what Iron Maiden do. You know, you look at all the guitars on the Rockin' Rio DVD, which was my first video DVD kind of thing that I got of Maiden. And I thought, oh, look at Adrian Smith and Yannick and Dave Murray. They've all done with their Strats what I've done with my Strat.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody looks at my Strat and just assumes that I've done it because, you know, we play a lot of Maiden with Blaze, and you know, it's like, oh, he's trying to do the Dave Murray thing. It's like, it wasn't that at all. It was just, back then I was like, how do I make this Strat sound like a Gibson? and that was it. And there was a few guys at the Jam Night, Strudwick and Dennis, all the guys in Haywood. They were, even though they were Clapton kind of guys, they were still changing their bridge pickups. This is Guitar Geek mode, by the way, everybody. They were changing their bridge pickups from single coil to hot rails or JB Junior to make it sound like a Les Paul or a Gibson.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just me.
Yeah. A few other people hollering at us. Boss and Boss 2 are in the chat as well.
Oh, Jean, what they want.
Zofo saying I'm the boss. Apparently Boss 2's the boss, he's saying. Yeah.
Am I meant to comment now?
No, not at all. Nasty Nick is in the chat as well.
Nasty Nick, oh.
There he is.
The Frenchman we met in America who travelled to Canada with us, who picked up Aki from Belgium, who lives in Germany.
Yeah, that's him. Hello, Nasty Nick. Hope you're well. Not so Nasty Nick sometimes. All right, very good. Nice. We've got a few people in. So what was the point? What was the year that Fury UK happened? You've just done loads of stuff with Kit the Cat, a few other mates from school, session musicians and stuff. And then
Fury, because we were always Fury, not Fury UK.
Yeah.
It kind of morphed from this school band that I spoke to you about. So one dropped off, one other dropped off. The other one wasn't allowed out after, 7 o'clock and whatever. The other one wasn't allowed in a pub. So I had to get other guys in. So there was a drummer from Prestwich, Chris Brooks, who was like a massive Dave Lombardo Slayer fan. And then Paul from Bury, another bass player, Paul. They kind of replaced all of this school band, which felt really good because I was with 2 other guys that they were like into a lot more heavier metal than me, whereas I was still kind of the AC/DC Aussie guy. But it felt good that I was in a band with guys that weren't into U2 and Nirvana, they were into Metallica,
more your
AC/DC,
style,
and they liked AC/DC. So that was the first kind of incarnation of Fury. Before that, we briefly did one gig called The Final Cut, until we found out that everybody thought we were a Pink Floyd tribute band. We decided on Fury. We liked it. We had a few songs called Black Riders was one of our first songs, and from the Horsemen of Nazgul, from Lord of the Rings. We had a song called Fury. We had a couple of other songs, and then we did loads of Metallica, AC/DC, and other bits and pieces. A lot of Metallica. Which surprises you lot whenever I turn around to you and says there was a definite thrash metal point in my life in my teens.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm Mr.
now.
Gary Moore, Joe Bonamassa, and Paul Rodgers.
Yeah.
But there was a time where it was all about Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. I was very into Slayer because it was the heaviest thing
at the time.
It was the heaviest thing with a vocal that you could understand. So I found that really dangerous because some of the Slayer lyrics are so dark. Whereas, I find a lot of this Cookie Monster stuff, really boring because I can't understand what he's saying. He could be talking about wrapping up little pink bunny rabbits in cotton wool, whereas Slayer, it's like they're talking about real dark things and you can understand the lyric. Move over to camera number 2. So that was, God, I left high school in 2004. So I reckon 2003, I must have been in year 10 or 11 where I'd met these other guys. And then I met some friends, I met, you remember my mate Ben Plant, he was majorly into, he was a big influence introducing me to some other metal bands. He introduced me to Testament, and he got me really into the Diary of a Madman album, the second Ozzy album, because Boss had got me onto Blizzard of Oz. And then he was my first introduction to Operation Mindcrime. He had that on vinyl. So he introduced me to like a different element of bands. Because like before this, it was like Bad Company and all this early. Then I discovered AC/DC, so there's a little heavier element, and then Metallica. But then there was like all this other kind of world of heavy music that I was finding. And then it sounds horrible now, but year 10 and 11, I started going to Jilly's Rock World. The tender age of 15. 80p and £1 a pint at Jilly's Rock World on a Thursday, and nobody. I don't even remember anything being wrong with it at the time. I didn't go out feeling like I was 15 years old, getting tanked up, and Ben was like 7'7" or something, and I had a beard and a long curly mane. So, like, there's nothing wrong with it. We were having a great time. We were going, watching a load of bands and enjoying music. There was nothing more important than music. That was the really cool thing. We were having a lot to drink, but we were very careful about where we went. We would never go into a bar unless it was like, it had a jukebox, or it had other people hanging around that bar who were like-minded. That was the wonderful thing about pretending you were old enough to drink.
Brilliant. All right, so where am I up to now? So you started doing Fury, and then there was obviously a point where it changed to Fury UK, and then the first album was Face of Adversity, right? Was that under as Fury UK?
So that Chris Brooks and Paul, they all kind of left or filtered out for whatever reason. We did have some fallouts. There was a few issues, and they didn't like playing covers. Where I was like, I want to do originals gigs, but I need to get money in with the covers gigs, doing pub gigs. Otherwise, where we're going to get the money to record, where we're going to get the money to do anything, we've got to do something. And I wanted us to play all the time. I didn't want to just do one gig every 6 months at a gig in Manchester City Centre playing our own stuff. I wanted to be gigging every weekend.
Yeah.
Even if it meant that we're doing 2 hours of Metallica and AC/DC in the pubs. For me, that's how we're going to get good, And then, so they left, and then Adam came in on drums and Dawson, which was kind of a step up, even though collectively they were probably different in style than Brooksy and Paul. Brooks and Paul were probably more metal, and again, Ads and Dawson were probably, they liked heavy music, but they were definitely more kind of pop punk, kind of like the Green Day and Blink-182 kind of thing. But they liked that I was a bit of a whiz-o guitar player at the time, young, and they could just kind of step in and work a drum and bass thing around me. And they were really up for doing covers and going to do the pub circuit. So I was like, great, let's do it. And I'd say we had a good 18 months, maybe 2 years doing that. And then that all came to a head because I think they could sense that we were doing probably more covers gigs than we were doing originals gigs. And I'm like, well, we're still saving money, kind of thing. So the day, I remember this very clearly, the day our first album came out, because we did other EPs and demos before that, the day Face of Adversity came out was the day they left the band. And I was like, I remember turning around to Boss and going, oh, this is great, we finally released an album with professional production and artwork and everything. We've got some kind of distribution for it and everything with Code 7 and everything, so we could get it in the shops. The day it gets released, the band disintegrated, which was very funny, but unbeknown to them, I'd already started rehearsing with Martin.
Yeah.
About a week before, we had one gig in Bolton with Panic Cell, which was the last gig I did with Ads and Dawson. And the week after, I had a gig with the Purple Turtle in London with Adam Cropper, and that was Martin's very first gig with me.
And let's talk about how we know Martin as well. So he was like, because he was the local drummer, the house drummer of the jam nights at Wishing Well in Haywood as well, and you had already jammed with him before this had all come to a head, hadn't it? So you knew of him.
And if those of you listening, if you don't know about North Manchester and the different areas, Haywood is a town part of Rochdale, and it has areas that are quite nice. Then it has other areas where you're picking up the eyeballs at the doorstep after dark, you know. And so I'd started going to this pub, the Wishing Well, quite a few years before Martin did this gig, and I was actually asking Martin to join a band with me for a lot longer than he probably remembers, actually. Because I'd go to this jam night and I kind of learned how to play guitar at another level because of this jam night. Because I was getting up with blues guys, I was getting up with jazz guys, I was getting up with rock guys, punk guys, I was playing all this different kind of stuff, and I was going very regularly. Yep. And there was another house drummer at the time, and then it changed to Martin. Martin became the house drummer. So Martin was like me. He could play Radar Love 1 minute, Whole Lot of Rosie the next minute, Enter Sandman, so he'd go from Metallica to blues, then the next minute he's doing a funk number with the local harmonica guy. So he's very eclectic. And what I loved about Martin is like, do you know this? How's it go? Like, da, 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 da. Okay, let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'd go for it. Perfect jammer, and definitely there's some very good musicians that we know that cannot jam.
Can't improvise like that.
Can't improvise. And that was something great about Martin, that's still great about Martin, is, and I think sometimes he does that even when we do a set list and we go, oh, you remember this one, don't you, Martin? And I'm sure he's thinking, he said, no, but I bet as soon as I count to 4 and I hear it, I'll remember it. So yeah, Martin was the house drummer, and I met him there and a few years, and then I finally asked him when I knew this line-up trauma was coming. I said, and Dad always used to say, oh, it'd be great if you could get Martin in a band with you. And then this other lad, there was another lad that was mates with Martin, but he ended up moving to Mexico, very, very inconsiderate on bass. So yeah, and we got this new lineup, and we went to London, and it was kind of like the musicianship at that point was kind of on a par with what I just had, but suddenly I was in a band with guys who were into heavy music again. Yep. And we were going to start being very serious, and then we did the Salvation EP, and And I was like, that was also a big turning point for me, because we've been talking about my guitar playing so far. At that point, I was singing because we couldn't get a singer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everybody we'd audition for a singer was worse than me.
Yeah.
So everybody was just like, well, why should we get a singer in who's worse than Chris? We might as well just stick with Chris and split the money 3 ways instead of, well, we split it 3 ways, but then there was always a fourth, so we were splitting it 4 ways.
For a band pot.
Yeah, band pot and then 3 musicians. So then when we did the Salvation EP and Martin joined the band, that was the first release where I was like, actually, I could really be the singer. I think, and I was listening, and I had some harmonies, and I was doing some double tracking, and then Glenn Hughes's Fused album with Iomi, I was obsessed with, so I was constantly trying to mimic his vocal style and everything. I was really obsessed with Glenn Hughes, because you constantly get you do a live gig and you're straining to get all these high notes, and there was a vocal coach that used to go to Spectrum, and he'd just gone, you know what, Chris, sooner or later you're just going to have to accept that you're not going to hit these Bruce Dickinsons and these Brian Johnson vocals. It's like you're in a different range. I'm like, no. Well, you on about?
What do you know about music?
Yeah, I was almost like, what was your biggest gig? You know what I mean? You're vocal coaching, but you're vocal coaching in Whitefield and Prestwich. You're not really, doing anything on the scale that I want. Where I want to be going. Mm-hmm. So I thought, no, shove it. I'll do it my own way. Stick those apples right up your juffer.
Right, we're going to take a brief interval because I'm empty. And I'll put the camera on me for a second and I'll address the chat. And then we'll get this thing rolling again.
Thought you never asked.
Alright then, let's have a look. Who have we got here then? A few people saying a few things. Oh, wait, wrong camera. Wrong camera. So sorry. There we go. Jean Chevalier is saying, what is with all the sirens? Are they searching for the Appleton brothers right now? Yes, they are, and they can't find us.
We're not far from Haywood.
We're not far from Haywood.
Forgot to get you, wasn't it?
Guys, are you... Yes. Thank you very much. Eric, a quick question for later in the evening, perhaps, but seeing as you're talking about Martin, how important is Martin in your music career? Well, I'd like to start that answer off. He's very important. He's very important to our music career, because he left us in the crap last year because he was ill, and we had to get a couple of depth drummers who did a wonderful job, but it was a lot of work, a lot of rehearsing, a lot of transport logistics and everything else. And we really missed him, because it was very strange for me, because I hadn't played in Absolva or Blaze where Martin was not behind me. And that felt very odd, and I missed him. I just missed having him around as well. He's always such a good laugh, well, most of the time anyway. And he's such a good laugh. He's the backbone of the band. But in a lot of ways, he had to have some time off and get a little bit better. But I felt like he actually came back stronger. So he is a very integral part of the band. And Chris has said quite a few times about this, that Chris hasn't actually played with another drummer in 20 odd years, perhaps.
Well, since that Camden gig where it was official that he was in Fury UK, in every single project I've done ever since then, and that must have been 2006, 2007 or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I think we did our first rehearsals in 2006. So yeah, 20 years. So Fury UK, then obviously went on to Absolva.
Yeah.
In between Fury UK and Absolva, we were playing with Dave Evans, the AC/DC man. And then, of course, he came with me to be the backing band for Blaze Bayley. So all those 4 projects, and then I still managed to, just like pinch him here and there when we were doing funny covers gigs, that we had to fill in for or whatever. But yeah, Martin's always been there. So yeah, it was very, very odd for me, because a drummer is not just the guy that hits the drums and cymbals at the back and counts to 4, and it's hard to explain, and it's not just about musical capability. We've spoken about this a lot recently. When you have a band, you have to have a chemistry, and I was reading an interview with Tony Iommi recently, and their early Sabbath days, and he said very, very clearly, he says, at that point in 1967, 1968, each member of Black Sabbath wasn't actually an amazing musician individually, but they got on well together. They were everybody kind of had a job, and when they came together, they had a style, and they had a sound, and then they had a sound that they projected. So put them all together, they became something bigger than they would ever be. As an individual, and that's one element of it. But you're living with somebody, It is funny sometimes when we get these emails and it's like, that vinyl that I've just bought on the web shop. Can you all sign it, and can you make it out to such and such a buddy? And then can you get Luke to say this and Martin to... They assume that we're like the monkeys, like we all live in the same house. And it's like, Luke, can you just pop down? And said, Martin, I know you're having your breakfast, but can you just spill some milk over this vinyl? Sorry to disturb your hula hoops, but they just assume that we all live together. Okay. But of course, when we do go on tour, we are living together. You have to be able to have your yin and your yang when you're in that bus, when you're 6, 7 lads, with crew and drivers. Back then it was just 5 of us, wasn't it?
Well,
4 of us,
which we are slowly getting to with my next couple of points, because still on Fury UK. So after
we're gonna have to start talking about you at some point. Aren't we?
Oh yes.
I think it's time for another break. Fancy Chinese.
We could do that after, actually. We'll wrap this up. It would be a short Muso to Muso today. So yeah, shortly after Salvation, of course, there's another lineup change after that album.
So, does he watch this stream, Adam Cropper?
Highly doubt it, but be nice.
No, I am nice. So, Adam Cropper had to leave because there was an issue with his girlfriend at the time. We did a festival, Bulldog Bash for the Hells Angels. And there was a little bit of a strip show after.
Oh, I remember.
And, you were quite young.
I was, It taught me so many things.
And looking back at it, and I have conversations with Blaze, because Blaze played the Bulldog Bash a couple of years before that year.
Yeah.
We just played the Bulldog Bash with Motorhead and UFO. So regardless of how many people watched us, which was probably about 10. We played the second stage on a lineup with Motorhead and UFO. But of course, in the music industry, you don't talk about that you've just played to 10 people. You talk about you've just done a gig with Motorhead and UFO. That was a big deal. We met UFO backstage. I was like, this is unreal. It's like we met UFO. We couldn't meet Motorhead because we got turfed out of the backstage area, but that's another story. So anyway, there's this strip show after the bands where, it's all a laugh, isn't it? There was whipped cream and marbles flying out between
golf balls,
women's legs and all sorts. Went back to the campsite and we thought nothing of it because our dad was with us. Our mum had come with us as a family thing, and we were just in the festival tent having a few beers after the gig, and there happened to be a strip show on. And then, but it's like, you know, it wasn't like we're paying 50 quid to get on stage and getting the whipped cream out.
Yeah, like we weren't like that. We were not involved with it. It was just literally a huge marquee
I think
of about 10,000 people or something.
She certainly thought it was a lot sleazy. I think she thought we'd gone to a gentleman's club or something.
Yeah.
And it was all intimate. So the next day we got home and there was a knock at the door, and he hands me a letter of resignation. And I shouldn't laugh because it was quite upsetting at the time. And he was quite upset about it because she'd obviously bullied him into bloody leaving. And then, you know, and as what always happens with these situations when you get a woman trying to, you know, make the band member leave because it doesn't suit her narrative, he's suddenly not in a band anymore. She gets very irritated with him. Few weeks, months later, she dumps him. You know, it was very sad. Really sad, really, because he was a nice lad. But of course, what happened then? We needed a bass player. And who's been playing bass? Yeah. Did you do that?
Oh, I did that well then, didn't I?
Did you do that on purpose? Let me do that again. Of course, we needed a bass player. This is some Spielberg kind of stuff going on. James Cameron needs
hello.
And of course, you'd already started kind of just for fun learning all the songs, not because you were, you know, I think some people thought, oh, we'd had all this planned, we were going to kick him out and then get you in. That was 100% not the plan. You were just learning anything you got your hands on, anything you listened to, just for...
Well, this is where we're similar now, because of course there's 6 years between us. So you would have done everything that you had just explained, really. I had started picking up that similar kind of thing. So instead of Kick the Cat, even though I did go and watch some Kick the Cat shows, I watched a lot of Fury shows. So I was watching you, I was watching Ads, I was watching Dawson in that lineup, then I was watching Martin and watching Adam in that lineup as well. And along the way, found the bass myself, started learning, because I was a fan of Fury, I listened to you a lot, learning those songs, learning Iron Maiden songs, learning Dream Theater songs. So it just naturally wanted to learn the songs.
And it's weird, actually, because those early years of doing the pub circuit in Manchester, you know, it taught you a lot. Well, us a lot, you know, in general, because it's a bit like you had to be good and you had to really know how to handle certain situations. You know, you had to learn how to heckle. I've seen bands crumble who are actually half decent musicians and pretty good bands. They can't stand a heckle. They crumble. And they get backed into a corner.
Yeah.
North Manchester pub gigs are not very forgiving. So you have to be good. You have to be on your money. You have to have an answer for every single person in that front row, and you have to have an answer back, and you have to stand there super confident to that. And then you waltz in and play Bloodstock.
Yeah, that was it. I think,
no, you did some pub gigs as well.
Well, that was the first one. We did Grand Central the night before Bloodstock.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know what it would have been. Your birthday.
Oh.
It was your birthday, yours and Tony's birthday, because Bloodstock is usually on your birthday weekend. So we did that as a bit of a warm-up show, and then we did a half an hour set at Bloodstock.
Yeah, but we didn't play the Friday, did we? We went to Bloodstock on the Friday, and I don't think we were playing. Was it Sunday afternoon?
Saturday or Sunday, yeah.
Saturday or Sunday afternoon. Yeah, but that was the weekend after we did Bulldog Bash and lost Adam.
Yeah.
Adam Cropper. Then we'd had a couple of rehearsals. I remember Martin in those rehearsals. I remember distinctly because we were rehearsing at the brewery in Haywood, where we had a plant pot for a toilet, and And we always used to go to Martin's Bargain Booze next to the wishing well to get the drinks and the snacks before we'd start rehearsing. And then we're like, oh, it's Luke's first rehearsal, how's he going to find it? You know, how's he going to find Mark? Because, of course, Martin is a few years older than me, but I'm 6 years older than you. Mm-hmm. So the age gap between you and Martin at that point was quite big.
Like Father Time and Pinocchio or something. It's just like a massive difference there.
And then we got through 3 songs, and you just kind of turned your volume down, turned around, and just kind of went with your Lucozade. And Martin's just like, I can't believe this. It's like, he's a great bass player. It feels like I've been playing with him for years. And then he's just too cool for schools. Like, you know, oh yeah, blackcurrant flavoured Lucozade. Yeah, no problem.
I don't think it was quite cool for school, but I was also a little bit nervous as well. And I was just like, well, here you go. This is what I've done. Hopefully you like it. And then you were all quiet. But then at one point I turned around and I caught Martin going like this. Fucking yes. It's the air fisting the air. Oh, people, thank you very much. Alan Fletcher, you've just gifted 5 subscriptions. That's unlike you. What a lad. And thank you, Eric, for the 100 bits. And Mars, 300 bits. We are on a hype train level 3. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You don't understand what this means.
You might as well be talking Japanese. What's all this? Carry on.
They're basically sending some money.
Yeah, let's go into Hype 3 overdrive with the flux capacitor. Yeah, here we go.
Eric says this is like Latin for Chris right now.
Oh.
They say we have to stop hitting the table.
Hey?
We have to stop hitting the table. Why? What's happening when we hit the table? Is it this?
Maybe I told you we need to get it a bit closer.
I don't think that's the problem. Loud noises happen when we hit the table. Hang on a minute, let's find out.
Oh, I know what it is. Right, so maybe we'll get coffee table. Right, so maybe we'll get coffee table. Right, so maybe we'll get coffee table.
Oh, that's not loud. Everyone needs to calm down.
It might be if you got bloody headphones on.
Oh, maybe. Oh my god, that vibration. Metal Sam, thank you for the bits. Nice one. Thank you very much. Sean Miles, thank you for the 100 bits. Go on, everyone. Let's see if we can get it to level 4. Thank you very much.
Are you playing Pac-Man or something at the same time?
If we get to a level 4 hype train, Chris will sing a verse or a chorus of a song.
Right, come on. What's next in Storyland? Is this how it goes? Because I just feel like I'm talking all the time.
Yeah, that is usually how it goes. But you certainly do have. You've picked up some blazisms of the what does he call it? The bulldozer effect. That's for sure. Blaze didn't do that though. All right, so we have introduced me into Fury UK. We're in Fury UK. That I joined in 2008, and like you say, the first show was Bloodstock open air, excusing a little birthday party and everything. And this is where things really started to ramp up, because this was where we did a hell of a lot of gigs. We did, in my time in the band, we did 2 studio albums, and we toured with a hell of a lot of artists. Do you want to list those artists that we toured with?
Everything seemed quite hopeful back then. It certainly felt, because, you know, if you were like 14 when you did that Bloodstock, so I just turned 20, about to turn 20, and then, yeah, the next 2 years were like brilliant, really, and we really kind of felt like we were getting somewhere. And young, you know, I think we were enjoying it to the max.
Yeah.
We were getting festivals, so we were getting Hammerfest alongside Halloween and Saxon and Schenker. Then we got, I think the kind of like the first thing I remember, touring wise, was I was really excited about getting those Blaze supports, and then Blaze sends us an email saying, because he had a ridiculously long UK tour. You know, I still look at that poster and go, how many gigs in the UK?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you're not far off it this year, though, are you?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was about 30 gigs. 30 gigs in the UK, and then he asked us to be the tour support and no other supports, and I was like, and then he was going to pay us, and part of the deal was we transport all his equipment in our van. And I thought, you know what, that's great. Bearing in mind, this was the era, or just coming out of the era, where if you wanted to tour with a band, you had to pay the band €2,000. In fact, I've just seen it recently with that the Irish fella and Dave Ellefson, where it's like, you want to support Dave Ellefson recently? Oh yeah, £2,500. But you have to provide all the equipment for the Dave Ellefson Kings of Thrash to use, and then you have to be a stage technician for Dave Ellefson himself.
God.
Now, Dave Ellefson probably doesn't know about this, but it's all.
Is it about the Irish fellow that we're very familiar with?
Our Irish friend, not Joe.
Not or Alan Fletcher. You're fine. This is a promoter.
This is a different guy.
Chris, so like I said earlier, that if we get to a level 4 hype train in the chat, that means you have to do some singing. We've got to a level 4 hype train.
What does this hype train mean? Level 4 hype train.
It only goes up the more subscriptions, the more donations, and the more gift subscriptions people do in the chat.
What did you get up to with Blaze?
I don't think we got a hype train.
Yes!
So, but this does mean we have to sing something now.
What do I sing?
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, why don't I grab a little acoustic guitar? And
all about this 5-string girl.
Oh, there you go. Well, I'll give you an acoustic.
Bit of that. Give me a. Well, you have the bass. I don't want to play bass.
E, is it just?
Huh?
E.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Plectrum.
Not plectrum.
I don't have plectrums in my shorts. I only have it in my jeans.
Oh God. Maybe we should have just done this all along.
Well, I told you, do we need to play anything? You were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. What do you want to do? Oh, by the way, anyone from Belgium, we're playing LP in Danes. Can I talk this? Is this too loud?
The microphone's here, Chris.
We're playing Saturday at Cafe LP in Dainze, Belgium. If you want to come, if you're from France, Netherlands, Germany, it's not that far. But if you're definitely from Belgium, come. We've got people from Ireland, the UK, Switzerland, all coming. We're playing an exclusive acoustic set. So hopefully this won't put you off too much.
Do you want to do Street Fighters? Oh, there's a tuner in this.
Yeah, turn it on.
That might not work. Oh, keep it going with that hype train, people. That'd be lovely. And we might play another.
You're out of tune to this now. You were all right before.
Hey, well, I'm in tune now.
Yeah. No, I think I'm better coming up to you. Which one?
Street Fighters.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Yeah. Are you going to do it and I'll do the little thingies?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3.
Thanks for the warning.
Oh, well, we'll keep that handy in case we do another.
Oh, great, yeah.
Oh.
Just in case we reach another bloody platinum ultra.
But I'm having
gizmoid or
a
something.
tiny little problem here, though.
Yeah, I've got a tiny problem.
Oh, very good. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. What a nice little surprise. Maybe we should have just done that from the get-go.
Your neighbour's not mine, though.
I don't know. They've never spoke to me. The connecting neighbours have never spoken to me. Nice one, everybody. Thank you. That was Street Fighters of Blackford Bridge. We'll be doing that acoustic version with Young Aki in Belgium this coming weekend at Dainzer, the LP. Don't slam the table.
Don't touch the moustache.
We cannot throw tomatoes. No, you cannot throw tomatoes.
Who's throwing tomatoes? What have I told you about throwing tomatoes?
Wonderful. Right, let's get back on track.
Right, yeah. Well, you said we're finishing at 8:30.
Well, 20 minutes. Get a lot done. I'm only halfway through my questions.
We're not even made Absolva yet.
No, we've not even got to Absolva yet. Well, it's you. He's bloody keep talking about all sorts of things with Gary Moore and Kurt Cobain. Oh, Nasty Nick said, why do you prefer Kurt Cobain over Gary Moore?
I'll just pretend I never heard that.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I left them off my list. No, I'll come back to that.
I might take my sunglasses off now.
Right then, let's transport a little bit into the future from what we've been talking about. We've done Fury UK. We've toured with all these artists such as Y&T, Blaze Bayley,
Schenker,
Saxon, Ice, which then led to Iced Earth, which is where all the problems started to happen. Because, yes, eventually, shortly after that Iced Earth tour we did around Europe.
Well, everything led towards that.
Yes.
So, this is. I'll say this quickly then. So, like, we got that tour with Blaze, which was great. That was a lift up. It was our first proper time getting across the United Kingdom and playing, you know, everywhere in all little clubs and everything. Then it was off the back of that, it really gave me a boost to be like, right, let's go bigger. You know, this is great with Blaze, and we've been to some really cool clubs. But, you know, for those of you who don't know, you know, Blaze back then, compared to what he's doing with us now, it was small. You know, the biggest gig by far was the London gig, which was like 300 people. The rest of the gigs were lucky if there were 80 people.
Yeah, I think the lowest one I think we ever did at that time was about 30 or something like that.
Yeah, it was small.
Mm-hmm.
But it got us across the country. We're eternally grateful for the opportunity. So then it pushed me. I just started picking up the phone and phoning booking agents. So I picked up the phone to Michael Schenker's booking agent and just said, oh, I've just seen Michael Schenker's doing a tour in December. Have you got a support band? And she went, no, do you want it? I went, yeah. She said, oh yeah, I've heard about you on the Blaze Bayley tour.
On the Blaze Bayley tour.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then we got an email from Y&T, which was great, because I remember seeing Y&T when I was like 12 or no, maybe not 12, maybe like 15 or something. And that was another great one because we were getting paid. And that was again somebody very close to Y&T from down south had seen us on the Michael Schenker tour.
Mm-hmm.
You should give those Fury UK boys a ring. And then from the Y&T tour, somebody that knew somebody working with Y&T was all the guys from that Saxon forum, Fingers and Graham Horn and all that clown, saw us on the Y&T tour, put us on at that pub in Wembley, It was great. We played Wembley, everybody, but it was a little pub, and they had a St George's Day Saxon event, didn't they?
And the drummer of Saxon was there, Nigel Glockler.
Turned up, and then lo and behold, after we did that gig for the Saxon Forum and everything, guess what happened? We suddenly got the UK tour support with Saxon. Saxon's agent and management were all the German guys, and the guy who runs Wacken, Thomas. And then the next thing, it was like the offer came in: do Fury UK want to be the opening opening support for Iced Earth on their entire European new album tour? That was by far the biggest thing that we'd ever been offered. You know, we'd done some big festivals.
Just 2 months solid out.
Of straight touring in, you know, up until that point, we'd played Belgium.
Done Greece with Blaze, Switzerland with Blaze.
Switzerland with Blaze, and we'd done...
Greece with Schenker as well.
No, that was after this, I think. Yeah, it was. Because we already knew you were going by the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we'd also got... we'd been to that little club in the Netherlands, the Rambler in Eindhoven, where we never played to anybody as well. It's not all sunshine and rainbows being a musician, everybody,
yeah.
You know. I can still remember plenty of places where we played to nobody. So yeah, we did all that, but I remember on that Iced Earth tour, we got to Lithuania, I think it was, and suddenly I just walk into the main stage room every day, you know. The normal kind of blueprint for the day is arrive at the venue, and we try and arrive early because we'd get catering. So if we got up a bit earlier, we wouldn't have to pay for all the lunch and food at service stations. We could eat the venue catering, which was really important as a support band if you're not getting paid that much. And so sandwiches, drinks and whatever, you'd want to get that. Then you kind of hear Iced Earth start, you know, the headline band start sound checking and going through it, and then you wander into the main room, watch a bit of Iced Earth sound check, or maybe you're bored of listening to the same songs, you know, because you've already done it like 20 odd times, you know, already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I decided to walk into the main room in Lithuania, and I'm like, what's Luke doing on stage with a bass round his neck here? What's going on here? And then I turned around to the bass player, Freddie, who stood in the room, and said, yeah, what's going on here? And I says, oh, well, you know, I knew that Luke was a big Iced Earth fan, so I thought, you know, he can get up and do Burning Times with Iced Earth in the sound check, you know, be like a really cool thing. And I'm like, oh, aye. This is the beginning of it. And I had a feeling right then, I thought, something fishy's going on here. I knew it. So yeah.
Then it all happened.
Then you got poached. You go on, and let's not buttercup it. You got
buttercup it.
You know, you got nicked.
So then, shortly after that tour, about 6 months after we finished that tour, and Fury UK was still doing things and everything. We still had a bunch of dates booked. And yeah, we managed to get some more dates with Michael Schenker in Greece. We were doing a load of our own headline stuff, going into Europe and the UK and whatever. The ball did not stop rolling, but then one day, our father got a phone call from Iced Earth's management saying, Freddie, the bass player at the time of Iced Earth, he's left the band. We want your son Luke to be the bass player of Iced Earth, or at least, you know, come and try out for it. So all that's history now. It's like that's exactly what happened. I joined Iced Earth, but then it's what happened alongside whilst that was happening, because this was the beginning of the band that we know that's on the shirt right now, that is almost 15 years old right now. This was the birth of Absolva. And what I want to know, I know the reasons why this, but everyone else may not know the reason why. Why was it a change? Why wasn't it just, all right, let's get another bass player for Fury UK and carry on with the momentum that we've got? Why was there a change in brand, change in name of the band, change of the lineup of the band as well in terms of how many members there was? What was the driving force behind that?
I mean, the main reason was there was two main reasons. I think is we worked so we worked so well as a 3-piece with Fury UK, you know, and even when we've come back to do these shows recently on the Silicon Messiah tour, where it was me and Marty, it was quite clear that was the reason why Fury UK was a dangerous machine. Is because we basically had the best rhythm section about, you know, and still now I'll challenge any band to top this rhythm section with you on bass and Martin on drums. We'd go against Metallica. You know, that's not just being bullshit or whatever, that's just fact. So it's no wonder we were getting attention from Saxon, Schenker, Y&T and all these big bands back then. I think the main thing we missed, you know, back then is probably we've become much better songwriters now. But back then we had youth on our side and we weren't afraid of doing 10-minute guitar solos.
Yeah.
So it was young flashy guitar player with this unbeatable rhythm section. And I've lost my train of thought. But why was it not a change? Yeah, change and not a stay. So because of that, I just didn't want to get another bass player because I 100% knew that it wasn't going to be the same and it wouldn't work, and we'd just have a average bass player filling the void of you know, and I didn't feel comfortable about it. And I wanted to walk away from a 3-piece. I wanted to go to 2 guitars. I thought, I'm always writing songs with harmony guitars in it. I'm always writing songs with a guitar solo coming from this side and then another guitar solo coming from this side. It's like, oh, what's going on? And I've always been a fan of Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like that, and then I was getting really fed up with the actual band name, you know, and you know, it was probably, in hindsight, it was a mistake changing the name from Fury to Fury UK. Okay, sorry, I keep slamming the table, I get very excited. Yeah, it was a mistake changing the name from Fury to Fury UK. And the reason back then was I had loads of emails from an angry band called Fury in Australia saying, we've got copyright to this name, we've got releases, we've been going loads longer. And I'm like, so? And then a band from Norway, our mate Jostein from Metal Club.
Oh yeah.
He was drummer in a band called Fury, touring Norway with Slayer. You know, that's pretty big in the 80s. Then there was another Fury from Denmark, again, which was dangerously close to Norway.
Yeah.
So there was like all these other Furies, and I just thought, oh, and then those Worcester lot really turned up, and then I had a bit of a to-do with them on email back in the very early years. And then I was like, do you know what? The website's Fury UK, we've got this logo that's the big F and the big UK and everything. I thought, well, maybe we should just change it. But in hindsight, it was a mistake, because if we stayed as Fury, we were much bigger than any of these other Furies already. None of these other bands had done anything as big as, you know, us. The biggest thing that happened was Fury from Norway toured with Slayer, but only in Norway. Nowhere else. They never, you know, went on, you know, with Slayer in Germany and across Europe and everything. So yeah, in hindsight, you know, I should have kept, you know, stayed strong with it. But that was another decision. I just thought, let's just walk away from this name and let's start Absolva, twin guitars and everything. So, and it was the right move. You know, I'm very, very happy now with the name, and I'm very, very happy now with everything.
I'm sending you around the houses with these cameras, aren't you?
Why didn't you just have a camera here so I can talk to you and then?
Well, you still can. You still can. Just talk to me. But yeah. But I think in terms of a name, it's a better name. It's a more unique name. And somebody, Alan Fletcher, our good mate Alan, we'll see you in a few days, has just asked, how did you come up with the name Absolva?
Well, it's kind of me and Boss at the same time. It was this, I don't know why, but, you know, it was this absolution of sin kind of thing that we had going on. And I think it's between French and Latin, the actual meaning, absolver. And of course, I wanted something like Def Leppard and Leonard Skinner, you know, where it's the spelling's different or it's said differently. And then I was like hell bent on having a band name with A.
Yeah.
And then I thought Absolver, so that means we're going to be in the directory, we're going to be above AC/DC.
AB.
AB.
Yeah. The only band that'll be above us is ABBA.
So if you sandwich between ABBA and AC/DC, well, it's not a problem, really, is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bold move. It was entirely, you know, that day that you got that call from the Iced Earth manager. It was that day. In the next room, you're celebrating Iced Earth. You know, I was in the next room bricking it, thinking, what am I gonna do now? And that day, same day, I wrote Flames of Justice.
Yeah, I remember that because we had a band meeting as well. We had a rehearsal booked for Fury UK because it was a Monday, and religiously we would rehearse pretty much every Monday, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Monday night in, we were still in Haywood rehearsing, weren't we?
I can't remember.
Rochdale, wherever. That little place where we had to poo in a plant pot and stuff. It's the glamour, even though we were touring with everyone.
Have you still got people watching?
Oh yeah,
You've still got plenty of watchers.
There's been quite regularly 32 watchers at one time. Well, we've peaked a lot higher as well. It's been, you know, in and out, you know, people. But anyway,
it's a lot higher, in and out. You know, so children watching.
What was my train of thought then?
We had a rehearsal booked.
We had a rehearsal booked, and then that's when the phone call happened, and then our dad called me down to say this has just happened. Then called you down, explained it, and then you were like, "Oh right, well I guess we'll cancel rehearsal and should we go for a coffee at Martin's?" Didn't we?
Yeah.
We were sat in his front room
Martin
at the time.
Martin thought we were going to sack him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we need to come round to the house for a brew, and Marty's like, oh, this has never happened before.
Yeah, well, no, it's not happened before. But anyway, enough about them. We don't need to talk about that. We need to talk about Absolva. Because then, after Absolva was born and everything, and you did 4 more studio albums at Axis Studios, which is the studio that we did Fury UK A Way of Life album, the last Fury UK album. And we stuck with Axis Studios for another 4 studio albums. Flames of Justice, the debut album, almost 15 years ago. Anthems to the Dead, which we had guests Doug Scarrett and Luke Appleton from Iced Earth on it. Then we had Never a Good Day to Die, which was my almost return back to things, because by this time we've skipped to 2015, and the great thing about being in Iced Earth was it was great. It was like playing in huge shows, supporting mega bands like Volbeat in arenas and stuff, and playing big massive festivals. The downside about being in Iced Earth, unfortunately, with a few circumstances, my 9.5 years in the band, I could probably say that there was about 4 years of solid touring there. But the rest of it, I was sat on my ass back in Manchester. This was the downside with that band, and that was for various reasons, really. So during one of those big dry spells of touring, that's when Absolva were looking for another guitarist. I'd guested on Anthems to the Dead, and by the time Never a Good Day to Die came around, that's when we were like, right, should you just be back in the band again? It's pretty much right, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the birth of the band had a massive... how can I put it? It had a massive hype. It was like Chris Appleton and Martin McNee's new band. Luke's gone to Iced Earth. There was plenty to write about for the headlines. And then I brought in this new hotshot guitarist, Tom Atkinson, who had already joined me with the Dave Evans tour like 6 months before that. And I was like, right, Aki. And Aki was working at a pub called the Towler, not far from here. In fact, only 2 minutes from here.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a block of flats, everybody. Thank you very much. United Kingdom, killing our heavy metal pubs. So he was working at the Towler, and I was working as a sound engineer. He was working behind the bar, and then, after I'd finished my job, I'd like a couple of pints. He would be driving in his, very, very uncool Land Rover. And,
he's still in the chat here now.
And then sometimes we'd go for another drink, or he'd stay up and have a drink and have a chat, or I'd jump in his Land Rover and it's like, oh, should we, we'd go for a McDonald's, we'd go to Ratcliffe and go order a McDonald's and put the world to rights. And so I can't remember which way round, but I think at that time I didn't like all the musicians that were in Fury UK being in the Dave Evans band. So, for those of you who don't know, Dave Evans was the singer of AC/DC for about 9 months before they got Bon Scott in the band. And he released the very first single with AC/DC, Can I Sit Next to You Girl, and Rockin' in the Parlour. And he was kind of having a bit of a resurgence. He'd done a solo album, and our record label had took on Dave Evans, but he was one of these artists. He'd fly to different countries and then there'd be a band waiting for him. So then we'd kind of taken on, me being a big AC/DC fan and looking at the set list, he wanted to do Can I Sit Next to You Girl, Let There Be Rock, Rockin' in the Parlour, All Out Rosie. He was doing some Bon Scott stuff as well. I thought, this sounds right up my street. So I asked Aki if he fancied, jumping on the guitar for the next tour. The tour before that was Marshall Gill from New Model Army, and he wasn't available for the second tour, and the money wasn't amazing, so he kind of sat it out, and then Aki came in, and so it was basically the Absolva band. Our first tour was touring with Dave Evans. And before Flames of Justice came out. And then Absolva had this amazing start. We had an amazing run of shows for the beginning of our touring. We had amazing reviews for this debut album, which we had some great songs on it. And, and for me, I was really feeling comfortable as a singer. I was like, I'm really settling into being a singer now. And then the first show was SOS Festival. Then, of course, we'd done a bit of a scratch your back with the Iced Earth manager and said, all right, you've stolen my brother. Can you give us a couple of Iced Earth support slots for my new band? In Dublin, Belfast, Glasgow, and then Bloodstock.
Yeah.
So then we're back in the Bloodstock territory, and then I didn't know it was Iced Earth's very first time in Ireland. So it was sold out Button Factory, 800, 900 people. sold out. In fact, it was sold out every show, wasn't it? Limelight 2 was sold out, and then King Tut's in Glasgow was sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a fantastic start, and we had a great headline show in the Underworld in London. We had like 150 people, which was like amazing for a new band to get that in London, you know. So, and that was great. And then we kind of hit a kind of bump in the road. Aki decided to leave at the start of the European tour as we're kind of getting into the live album, live in Belgium, you know, Beyond Live. And then we did the second album, kind of confusingly, with Anthems to the Dead, because I was like, all right, Aki's gone, but I couldn't find a guitar player that I really agreed with, you know, because me and Aki would spin off each other, you know, and Aki, you know, all right, maybe back then I couldn't really explain things very well, but normally if I played something to Aki, he'd go, oh, like this. I went, no, not like that, you fool, what like this? And I'm like, oh yeah, like this, yeah. And then he'd be able to play it, you know. So there was that kind of like camaraderie, whereas any other guitarist I'd play with like that, I was like, well, he plays like a robot, or he plays like he should be probably in a Led Zepp tribute, not in a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really find a guitarist there. So then I was like, oh, maybe I should just go back to being a three-piece, and Absolva could be a three-piece, it'd be all right. But then I suddenly realised that the bass player, Dan, it wasn't Luke Appleton to do that. So to have a three-piece, everybody's got to be amazing, and you've got to have this amazing rhythm section.
Mm-hmm.
So when Never a Good Day to Die came round, and we got Carl on board, and then suddenly you came back, but you know, it's like, all right, I'm coming back on guitar because we've got this new bass player. That was the new dimension of Absolva then.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly all the stars aligned, from a very, very good start to then a confused second album, which I do love the songs on the second album. I love the Anthems to the Dead album, but it was just a confused album from a live perspective.
Yeah. I can understand that. And I did like that because Anthems to the Dead, even though I guested on it, I didn't do every show of that tour, but I started to come on and tour with you, and then it was like, when you were writing Never a Good Day to Die, that was the first album where I started throwing my eggs in the basket in terms of writing with you.
And that was a very confusing time for you, because I remember, you know, at the start of this Iced Earth thing, the instructions were, you play with Iced Earth, you don't play with any other band. That's it, you're exclusive.
Yeah.
But you weren't being paid to do that.
No.
So then I was kind of like, well, if you're going to be sat on your ass for 10 months of the year,
yeah,
and then you're only touring for like 2 months of the year, it's like, you're going to have to do something, otherwise you're going to end up working at, you know, Aldi or something, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm honestly not afraid to admit it, that like during my time with Iced Earth, I had to get a job.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great job, I enjoyed it and everything, but it was, one of the key features of that was working behind a bar. So now I don't have to do that. With everything that we're doing now, it's fantastic. And we're really on a roll, but we're keeping busy all the time, which is great.
And of course, for me, things had changed dramatically by the time 2013 had arose, because I did, you know, I was still doing my promotion and sound engineering jobs, and 2012 or 2013, 2012 I think it was, came around, and I promoted a gig for Bayley acoustic. He says Grand Central, but it was actually the Tower. but I don't want to ruin the story that he says night after night, because I haven't got the heart to tell him. That he's been getting it wrong for like 10 years. But you know, the gig was actually at the Tower, and I remember it very well because I was really scared stiff of losing money because it snowed the same morning, and Synagogue had booked Synagogue as the support,
yeah,
because they'd done that single with him. And that was the day that, you know, he was with Thomas Weiss, and he'd done the King of Metal thing, but then he sacked all the band off. He had a nervous breakdown with the band that he had, and then he was playing all this acoustic stuff, and I thought, I just seized an opportunity. I had a feeling all them years ago, back in the Man Who Would Not Die times, when we were supported in Fury UK, I just thought, you know what, I could do this. And, you know, I was always listening to the Silicon Messiah album and the 10th Dimension album and the Maiden stuff, and I was always like, I can do this, you know. So I always had a little feeling, and then I just seized a moment. I just says, are you playing any metal anytime soon, Blaze? Oh, no. And he even went like this, and I even thought that he was kind of tickling around the idea. Well, what it is, Chris, is if I did it again, I'd need a band, but I'd need a band from England. And I'd need a band that could rehearse while I'm not there, so they could just rehearse a batch of songs, and then they'd be ready to do a gig, so I could just walk in and do whatever, and then fly out to a festival, this, that and the other. And I remember that day very well, and I said, well, if you fancy it, give me a call, there's my number, I've got a band, we can learn stuff, we can do it, I think we can give it a go. I don't see any reason why not. We're all very hard working, you're a great singer, an incredible front man, let's do it. And that was the kind of turning point as well, because that became my second job, you know, or you know, me, 2 jobs.
Yeah, 2 bands, 2 jobs. No, it was certainly an interesting moment. I vaguely remember you telling me about it, and I wasn't surprised, I was happy, because I think it was like, okay, yeah, this could be cool. But again, at that time, it wasn't nowhere near as big as it is now. So it's kind of like, oh, it's cool, you're now in the band for Blaze Bayley, but also at that time, it was like, you're just the band of Blaze Bayley. Boss wasn't the manager. Boss was just the driver. You were just the guitar at that time, just the guitar player and backing vocalist. I think you started at. It only slowly, as it slowly developed year after year, the Appletons kind of just took control and was like, "This is the way that we think this should operate."
You know, and I say that to a lot of people, and a lot of people find it hard to believe, but, you know, I remember after the first, you know, because at the time, Blaze's ex-wife was managing him, and she actually did a great job, because she turned him back into a solo artist, because she saw, even though she didn't get on with heavy metal, she was quite good with numbers, and she was a good businesswoman.
Yeah.
So she could recognise how much money Blaze was losing, you know, all the time. And she said, you need to become a solo artist. He says, this whole thing of giving band members 20%, 25%, and paying for visas, paying for this, paying for retainers, you know, it just doesn't work. You don't earn enough. He says, you have to pay the people that play with you a wage, and they walk away, and you're an independent artist. That's it. And to be honest, I was gobsmacked to find out that was the case with his previous bands. You know, and especially now, you know, that we know the guys from Udo, for example, and all them lot, and the way it works with other bands, and, you know, and much bigger bands, but also much smaller bands. So I was gobsmacked that wasn't the case already. But, you know, times were different. You know, year 2000, it left Iron Maiden. All right, Iron Maiden weren't as big as they are now, from the Blaze point of view, but it was still Iron Maiden. Why would you not think that you'd be able to support 5 wages in the year 2000 after being in Iron Maiden?
Yeah.
You know, so I do sympathise with him and quite a few people, you know, on that scale, because why would you think differently?
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, we're getting too involved with the business end, the music industry, the business.
Well, yeah, speaking of which, get me another.
Do you usually drink this much on these things?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is Aki still on?
The last time, yeah, Zaki's still, yeah, he's there, I think.
Oh, has he started slagging me off yet?
No. He said his usual thing is like, I think his next break is due soon.
Mine?
Oh yeah, you're well long overdue. You're well and truly long overdue a break.
Oh, my break?
Your break.
Yeah, do you know what? I could do the break.
Little blues, Appleton blues thing.
Yeah.
But let's have a little look at the chat. Joe May's still in the house. Curves Axe, which is our Finnish mate.
Bon Jovi?
No, not Bon Jovi. I love how we got Bon. The Bon Jovi. The Bon Jovi. Oh, God's sake, he's gonna kill me now because I've just completely blanked on his name.
Suki Siki?
No, big tall lad. He's very, very often. He was at the Swedish shows this year.
Henry?
With Blaze. Not Henry. Not Henrik. He's not blonde, is he? And he's not very tall, I wouldn't say.
You narrow it down a little bit. I know loads of people from Finland.
A big, tall, blonde lad from Finland.
Yeah, you really narrowed it down for me. Thanks very much.
He was at...
Bearing in mind, our mate, who's called Mike, has an online name called Leyden Crayfish. Something.
This is the problem with some of them. Like, I didn't even know you were tuning in. Because I was like,
I did that on purpose.
Who the hell is this Manchester Mad Max?
I didn't want anybody to know that I was in.
Can I have one of these?
If you like it. I didn't want to know anybody that, tell anybody that I was coming into these chats. I thought, especially if anybody starts telling me that I'm playing Iron Maiden songs.
As soon as you get the person, you'll remember his name. I'm frigging blanking, but he's the crazy front row headbanger, he's calling himself. Really, he's pretty tall. He's got long blonde hair. I think he's got like a blonde goatee as well. Nice lad.
Yeah, and I never know how to pronounce it. Lavery or Yavery, isn't it?
That sounds about right, yeah. Laveri.
Yeah, well, it's because with another Finnish lad we know, and it's two eyes, and it's two eyes R-O. And I never know if it's Lero or Eero or Eero or something.
Right.
So like Lavery, like Iavery, Lavery, Livery. Oh, like well.
I've just been calling him Curves Axe at the moment.
I was going to say, mate.
All right, bud.
All
yeah,
right.
Curves Axe still with us. Ben Crimson Shredder, Moj, Jean Chevalier, Alan Fletcher, Ice Gems, Aki Vice.
Any questions?
Metal
from
Sam.
People?
No, they've just all been messing about in the chat.
Well, do you ask for questions? Or
I
not?
do, but I think we should play another tune soon-ish as well. But we are getting quite close to wrapping all this up,
I think we should.
Because you want to go to the pub, don't you?
Don't say that. If Catherine might be still listening.
Is Cat watching? Oh,
she's
God.
Catamelia or something.
Well, she's never commented on anything. If she's there, you've got to leave a comment. Oh, yeah, there she is. Oh, shit. Oh, Catamelia. Is Millie watching as well?
No, it's just the name that they made when they were watching one of your things ages ago.
Oh, I see.
I just hope that...
I always thought that you lot never bothered with this.
Yeah, well, that's why we have secret names, just to spy on it.
Cat Amelia. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, I just hope that Summer's shouted at her or something, so she's getting distracted.
Yeah, that's it. We're in trouble now. Alan and Ben are like, oh, busted. Oh, well, anyway, we're moving swiftly on. Anyway, we're getting to the latter part of our things now. So...
Can we
finish
take
up
these cameras with us?
Yeah, to the track side for a bit.
Shut.
So, right, let's finish off with a few things that we have got coming up very, very soon. Because we've got a very, very big year with Blaze. And then we've also got a brand new release with Absolva coming up. You can choose whichever one you want to talk about first.
Yeah, we missed a lot of Absolva talk, really. We missed talking about the Defiance album.
Well, we don't need to talk about all...
Fire in the Sky, Side by Side, and...
Yeah, but we're on a...
Live in Europe.
No, this is a long time, Chris.
What? I don't know. This is, if I had a bit more of a time-sensitive host.
It's hard to get a word in edgeways. It's like, I can tell you who you've been hanging out with a lot.
Who?
I'm not going to say it.
Come on then, wrap it up. Let's get Shufty on.
So let's start with. We're on Blaze at the moment. Then we'll finish with Absolva. Then we're going to finish with quickfire rounds. Hopefully you do them quickly as well. So let's finish with Blaze. So the Blaze band, very, very busy this year. We've done a hell of a lot of shows in the first 5 months of this year, and that is mostly down to you, actually, because you are the booking master. You do all the bookings, and you've been doing all the tour managing as well. For people who don't know, Chris has certainly rose above over the last couple of years now. Being the prime booking agent for the Blaze Bayley and Absolva band and some other bands along the way as well, and also become the primary tour manager as well. And if you didn't know that, you should ask Eric, because he knows all about this. So now tell me, was it the plan this year to be so busy, or was it a little bit of seizing the moment because there is such a buzz around Blaze and the band with Edfest, with the Burning Ambition movie, among other things as well?
It's kind of all rolled into one. This is quite funny, this, because I wasn't particularly excited about doing the X Factor anniversary last year. Because we'd done so much touring of the Iron Maiden sets and everything in recent years. COVID kind of had something to do with that, because the 25th anniversary touring kind of got interrupted. And then before we knew it, we were into 30th anniversary. And then before we knew it, it was like, oh, what about this? It's the anniversary of the X Factor. Now it actually turned quite popular, the X Factor anniversary. We just decided we were going to do one show per country.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were starting to pull in probably 3 times as many people than Blaze would normally do, probably even more in some instances. And then every time we ever put on Blaze's social media about doing a Maiden anniversary show, you'd get this floodgate of people from the UK going, come to the UK with this set list. And then we'd go, well, we did it at Stone Dead, we did it at Winterstorm, we did it at Planet Rockstock.
Yeah.
And then there'd be also a floodgate of people going, well, I don't live near there, I don't go to festivals, I can't afford festivals.
Yeah.
That was another interesting one. And then they said, well, you've been on tour in Spain with a Maiden set, you've been on tour in France with a Maiden set, you've been on tour in these countries. And then I thought, you know what, fair enough, that is a good argument. So I thought, you know what, let's do it. There's all these bloody tribute bands that go across the UK 5 times over in 1 year. Why can't we put Blaze Bayley singing his Iron Maiden songs?
Yeah, songs he legitimately wrote with Iron Maiden.
For 20 shows in the United Kingdom. Well, more now, probably.
Yeah. And everywhere we've been this year.
And and I've done really naughty things. As a booking agent, you've got to be wise. It's not just booking as many shows as you possibly can and get as much money as you possibly can. You've got to be smart, because you want to have repeat bookings. You don't want to go, oh great, I've got £10,000 off this one guy, and then the next day you've charged the poor guy down the road £500 because he speaks a good game.
Yeah.
You're only going to cheese off the guy that you've played with the night before. You've charged an arm and a leg, and there's only 2 miles difference between the two.
Yeah.
So normally I would never play a gig with Blaze, book a gig with Blaze, Glasgow and Edinburgh. This tour I've done, it's been very dangerous, and I was worried about upsetting people. But in hindsight, it's been very successful. They're both nearly sold out. So, I win. Right. So, same with Manchester and Blackpool. Manchester's done like a few hundred tickets. Blackpool's like well over nearly 2/3 capacity.
Yeah.
So there's been no, so in that sense the Iron Maiden set's worked. We're playing all over across the world. We're probably getting back to South America soon as well with this Iron Maiden set. Riding the crest of a wave. 50th anniversary for Iron Maiden from Iron Maiden. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We've got Nebworth. We're doing Edfest. It was never planned, but it's just kind of taken off, and I just thought, why not?
Why not? A little bit more bread for us, and it just works.
Bread, butter, and some shrimp.
All the publicity's great, and there's a lot of love for it. People want it.
I don't have to feel guilty about buying smoked salmon anymore.
Yes. Yes. No, you don't. Right, finally, let's talk one last thing about Absolva, because Absolva have just dropped a brand new music video only a couple of hours ago, and in a few months' time, we have a brand new live album coming out. So 2 things in particular about this. Let's talk about those releases, and also let's talk about why we chose to do the live album at Sevener Club, and why we chose to do the music video in Blackpool. Okay, now. I'm going to give you this camera because I need a moment. It's like, hang on, one moment, please. Guest alone. Here we go. There he is.
So what, Mannheim first?
Sure.
So Absolva got a new album, live album, called One Night in Mannheim. And to be honest, I don't even think we decided before we did the gig that we were going to record it. Everything just kind of happened
naturally.
Kind of just off the cuff, to be honest. Mannheim's a great place because it's got an indoor stage and an outdoor stage. But they're almost identical. They've got a mixing desk on wheels where they literally wheel the mixing desk from inside to outside, and then the PA system and the stage size is virtually the same inside and outside. He was the #1 club in Germany to still be putting concerts on during COVID because he had this outdoor space with cover. He, at the time everybody was like, "Oh yeah, you can't do a gig, or you got to rule of 6, and you got to be outside," and all these places were like scrabbling to put outdoor stages together so they could do that. He'd already done it. He'd already been doing it for years, so it'd be great. So, but it was always depending on it was always depending on the weather. So Absolva played twice before in the indoor stage. We finally got some good weather, so he says, "You're on the outdoor stage." We're like, yes! So we get outside. We had a great gig. We had a great support band, and we decided to get it recorded because it was one of Aki's first European shows with us. Going back out with this new lineup on the Justice tour. I think it might have been the first European show that Aki had done with us.
Yeah, you're right. Because the first show was SOS again.
Yeah.
And then, first show, Sevener Club, Mannheim. And we were just on form, weren't we? I felt like
Are you sure about that?
What? SOS? Or Mannheim?
I think SOS might have been after,
No. SOS was 100%.
Mannheim was September, wasn't it?
Yeah. Aki's first comeback show was SOS.
So yeah, I'd go as far as saying it was the first European show.
Back over there.
Not tetanus, but whiplash.
Tetanus.
Tennis elbow. So yeah, and it was a great place. We always get great sound from Ica, the crazy white-haired sound man. Fish, the owner's a character. He gave us some incredible introductions every time he was on stage. So it was a great gig. It was a great audience, and we've not done a European kind of live album in one setting since the Beyond Live album, which was live in Belgium. So to do a live in Germany kind of thing, live in Mannheim, I thought was important because we've got a load of hardcore German metal fans. So
Yeah.
it was important. Blaze, what was the Blaze thing?
You've said the Blaze thing.
Right, what was
The
the
next
thing?
one was we dropped a new music video today.
Music video today. Well, we've already spoke about this at the beginning, didn't we?
Did we?
About talking about Neil and the
God.
Lighting Man and all that. I want to repeat myself.
Oh yeah, maybe we did. Oh well, fine. That's everything then.
Go on, have you got
Wonderful.
any questions? Fan questions?
Fan questions.
I like fan questions.
Fan questions.
9 o'clock.
Cy Thompson would love a Blaze and Absolva session at the Soundbar in Skipton one day.
Would you know? Yeah, it's kind of a Absolva stronghold soundbar. Even though we did have a warm-up show booked for Blaze at the beginning of this year before we started anything for Skipton, like a rehearsal. The problem at the moment is Absolva and Blaze doing 2 sets kind of doesn't work for us anymore because Blaze wants to do 2.5, 2 hour, 45 minutes. So if Absolva did half an hour, we're suddenly on stage for over 3 hours, you know, so we're giving Bruce Springsteen a run for his money. So.
Yep. We've got another question from Joe May. For Chris, have you got a particular favourite Absolva song?
Rise Again was always up there. Blimey. Refuse to Die has been always up there. Hero in Your Life's quite special.
It's a good one.
For me.
Nice to do one day.
Yeah, but Rise Again, I don't know why. At the time, I just said that's the best song I've ever written.
I wrote it with you, you know. That, actually, there's a fun one with that because that's one of the first, not the only now, but I think that was one of the first where you and I just got together.
Well, I really started annoying you.
You started just shouting things at me and just be like, no, you need to do the riff like this. It's like, da, 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 and all this sort of stuff. That was the first one where it was like, we're coming up with things off the cuff right here, right now.
Yeah, that was when I started doing stuff to you that Blaze had been doing to me. Yeah. Really annoying.
And, yeah. Really just... no, I want something like Alright then. What note's that then? What, here we go. Here's a question. Where's it gone? Question from Ethan from Worthing, who is one of my... Do you know who Ethan is?
Yeah, he's the little lad at the factory.
Worthing.
Follows us on Instagram.
Yeah, no, he's a good lad. What is Chris's favourite Iron Maiden album?
Oh, I was talking about this. Now, this is difficult. If I'm going off actual musicality and songwriting and everything, I'm one of those people that absolutely adores A Matter of Life and Death.
Yeah.
And Brave New World. Those are probably my 2 favourite albums. But if I'm going off nostalgia, Number of the Beast. So when I was in high school, I had this guy from Russia who was in the same year as me. It was actually primary school, not high school actually. And he had an older brother who had bootleg copies of Number of the Beast and Live After Death, and he lent them me on CD because he knew I was into AC/DC and whatever. And then I put the Live and After Death version on the CD player, and it skipped like hell. You know, so Churchill's speech sounded like some kind of weird Dalek, Doctor Who kind of thing going on. So I was like, right, I'll put this other one on. And then Invaders. I was like, whoa, where are we going now? So yeah, Number of the Beast.
Cool.
Has got a lot of fond memories. So yeah, those three.
Potentially interesting question from Jean Chevalier in France. Any particular person you would like to guest on your next album?
On my next album? On Absolva's next
Absolva's next album.
Anybody I'd like to guest on either? I don't know, really.
No, it took a while to convince you to get some...
It took me long enough for Luke to convince me to have some guests on this one. Don't know. Don't really like anyone.
If you could have your dream, like if I turned around and said Glenn Hughes fancies doing a song on our album,
that won't be so bad.
Right
then. He's
then.
not bad, yeah.
Okay, well we'll leave it there then.
It's something really weird. I mean, it might not work, but like Gary Moore's son, Jack Moore, he's actually going out doing some festivals at the moment, doing a Gary Moore set. And I love Jack Moore. He's probably not like in the same kind of genre as Gary Moore. He's probably a little bit more modern, but he's still an amazing artist. Yeah, I'm probably the worst guy to be in a heavy metal band, you know. So.
That's what all these blues musicians and everyone. Where we go? Cy Thompson says he's very much looking forward to our live vinyl release in September, everyone. One Night in Mannheim. Curves Axe from Finland, our mate. What's your favourite Blaze solo song?
With me on it?
Could be whatever era you want, because Silica Messiah, I know, has got a special place in your heart.
Silica Messiah definitely is, the whole album is incredible. And that was kind of the turning point for us with Blaze when we decided to do that Silicon Messiah 15th anniversary tour. That was when I remember we did our last show of the European tour on that 15th anniversary tour, and it was almost like Blaze isn't particularly a hugger, or he certainly wasn't a particularly hugger back then. So you could almost like shake his hand and you go for the embrace and he'd just kind of stand there like a robot. And I remember the end of that tour, the 15th anniversary tour, and we'd had a great time. I wouldn't say we were playing to thousands, but we certainly felt like the musicianship had pushed a level. We were kind of going into this different realm. And we were kind of doing different things with the versions of the songs, and all the shows were really fun. And even when we were playing to small crowds, the crowd reaction was like really big. And at the end of the tour, we all came up to do a bow, and he shook my hand and he says, "That's my favourite tour," and he gave me a massive hug
on stage
in front of everybody, and I was like, oh, must have been good then.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice though. A nice one from Raven HG, which is Paul and Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
If there's one riff you wish you'd written, what would it be?
Falling Off the Edge of the World, Black Sabbath.
How's that riff go?
Yeah.
That's a good riff. You play that a lot in the sound check.
Yeah, maybe I should have said Children of the Sea. Or there's loads actually. If You Want Blood as well. Any of them.
Here's one that might make you laugh. It's from Ethan again. Who is Gary Moore? Is it that dude from The Liz?
Just say yes.
Yes.
Just say yes.
He had a heavy input with Thin Lizzy, that's for sure, Ethan. But go check out some of his solo career. It's very good. Start with Out in the Fields, in my opinion.
Yeah, start with Out in the Fields, then he's Must Have Known, Still Got the Blues.
Yeah.
Have a look at Thin Lizzy's Black Rose album. Yeah, and then,
some other stuff. And finally, we'll do one more question. Is like, what about doing a song with your father, everybody singing? Okay, well, I can certainly tell you... Well, in fact, technically, we've already done that.
Have we?
Because, what a lot of you may not know, whenever we did, like, big gang vocals in Absolva days, when we were doing, like, the first 4 albums in Axis Studios... We'd all crowd around a microphone, and throughout those times, Boss was always in the studio with us. So whenever it be a gang vocals to get that kind of accepts backing vocal or whatever, he was one of the vocalists as well.
Beatles anthology.
What does that mean?
We did a Fury UK album called VR. And at the end of the song, bear in mind we've recorded all this analog, no digital, no Pro Tools, naff. And so we had to create our own sounds. We couldn't use samples or anything. So then we wanted to make an explosion sound for the end of this song. So we had a big reverb. And then we dropped a mic stand on the floor and it sounded too scrappy. We blocked a box on the floor. And then... Boss picked up this big Beatles anthology book and whacked it on the floor, and we put a load of reverb on it, and it's like, yeah, that's just the right sound, but you keep dropping it on the floor too late, and the timing between when you drop it and when it hits the floor isn't on the boom on the end of the song. So it took loads of takes. But yeah, Beatles anthology.
There you go. It was on a recording of us.
Keep putting my sunglasses on.
But you know, but also a little bit like, are we allowed to say this about Boss? About what he's been doing on a laptop?
Porn.
Yeah.
I don't know what. How am I supposed? I'm not a mind reader.
But Boss is working on some cool stuff at the moment, and that may come to light very soon. But that's all I'm basically gonna say. Not whatever foul dirge that's just come out of your mouth, you sick bastard. Right. Okay. Good God. Okay, right, we're done. Right, we're doing our quick fire rounds.
God, because my teeth are underwater.
Well, we've got one more song to play as well.
I can't sing a song like this.
Right, well, what do you want to do? You've got a choice.
Go to the toilet now or later?
Well, you can go to the toilet as long as you get me a drink on your way back.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the quick fire rounds.
Okay.
And then maybe, if the chat wants it, would you like another acoustic song? You've got to put it in the chat right now. Nice little acoustic number.
And what track do you want?
Well, this is the special thing that I like to do. They're going to decide what track.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm going to do a poll.
Poll?
Where they vote.
Right,
anyway,
go to the loo.
Go to the toilet. Go to the toilet. I'll address the crowd. Jesus Christ. God. This is something else, this is. Oh no, I can't change the camera. Something's gone wrong. This has been quite something, hasn't it, everyone? He's on one today. Oh, Rise Again could be a good one. Yeah, definitely. You all feeling another song then to finish off the night? We are going to do our little quick fire rounds and everything. Hopefully he's not going to take a million years like some of my other guests may have done. But then, yeah, we will finish with another tune. And if you put your suggestions in the chat right now, I'll make a poll out of the 5 songs that the pair of us feel like we could probably do right now. And then, yeah, you guys get to vote for which one we can do. So it'll be very nice. But I just want to say a big, massive thank you before, because we are getting to probably the last 10 minutes of this stream right now. It's been really, really good. I've really, really enjoyed it. This is the final stream of my May Twitch schedule. I will be probably in the next few days, maybe in the next week, I will be announcing June's Twitch schedule of what I'm going to be doing. I already know that in the back end who my next special guest is going to be. I just need to confirm a date with that person. I'm not going to say who it is right now, but you will be informed very, very soon. I can also confirm that I will have another guest towards the back end of June, but that will be a performance guest, not a Muso to Muso guest. I will have another performance guest, and that person will be playing a whole album in its entirety. I'm not going to tell you which band it is. The only clue I will give you, it is not an Iron Maiden album that we're doing in full. It's going to be from a different band who is very, very big and very, very influential in the metal scene. It's a very, very big album, one of the most top-selling albums ever in rock and metal, I believe. And then also in early June, I will be doing a special birthday stream as well. So there's going to be a few other things as well as that, but we're going to have at least 3 streams, which are going to be thank you very much. That are going to be very, very nice. So I want you to keep all your eyes and ears open for everything I've just said. Anyway, right then. Are you ready for your quick fire rounds, Chris?
Is it very quick?
Well, it depends how quick you answer. I've got 3 categories.
Have you?
I've got 3 categories. We're gonna do. I'm not gonna tell you which one. Oh, I've got some new ones to add as well.
Have I just got to answer as fast as possible?
The faster the better. Yeah, that would be good.
Were you meant to turn these lights on, by the way?
No, not really. It's been daylight for a long time. I think we're gonna finish.
Late, I think.
Well, a bit later than we were talking about. Right, the first category, quick fire round category, is favourite singers who are also playing an instrument. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Well,
What are you doing?
Sorry.
Are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to give you a couple to choose from, then move on, and then you know how this works. God damn it. Cheers, everybody. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Favourite singers who are also playing an instrument. Here we go. So your first 2 are Tom Araya or Miles Kennedy.
Tom Araya.
Tom Araya or Prince.
Tom Araya.
Oh. Tom Araya, Kurt Cobain.
Tom Araya.
Nasty Nick, if you're still here. Tom Araya or Lizzie Hale.
Oh, I'm going to twist it up a bit. Lizzie Hale.
Oh, yeah. Lizzie Hale or Zakk Wylde.
Zakk Wylde.
Zakk Wylde or Dave Mustaine.
Dave Mustaine, just actually, yeah.
Dave Mustaine or James Hetfield.
I think really James Hetfield, if I'm being proper.
James Hetfield or John Sykes.
John Sykes, Thin Lizzy John Sykes, because there's 2 of them, isn't there? Say that one again.
Pantera. James Hetfield or John Sykes.
I'd go for John Sykes.
John Sykes, yeah?
Yeah.
Final offer?
Is that the last one?
No. John Sykes or Billy Sheehan?
John Sykes.
John Sykes or Paul McCartney?
Paul McCartney.
Oh, interesting. Paul McCartney or Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl.
Hey, I've made this a good one. I remember the first quickfire round, I gave you, like, Angus Young and Gary Moore so early on, and you're like...
I know, well, I thought I need to shake it about a bit, but, like, there's a couple of legends there, you can't do that. All right, carry on.
You're not going to like the next 6.
Oh, good.
So
6 quickfire rounds?
There's 6 more people in this, and I really don't know where you're going to go.
In the chat that I don't like?
In the list I'm giving you right now.
Right, well, get on with it then.
Dave Grohl or Geddy Lee?
Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee or Phil Lynott?
Phil Lynott.
Phil Lynott or Gary Moore?
Gary Moore.
Gary Moore or Richie Sambora? It's not, honestly, the next 2 are even more evil in my opinion.
Gary Moore, I think.
Gary Moore or Glenn Hughes?
Glenn Hughes.
Glenn Hughes or Lemmy?
Oh. I feel like someone's been poking my eye out.
This is your final choice as well.
This is my last one.
Glenn Hughes or Lemmy, that's your final one.
I think really I'm a Lemmy.
Lemmy wins.
I think last time we did one of these, I'd had way too much beer.
I'm not sure. Did I release that one? I can't remember. There was a few of them. I've still not released Martin's famous one.
I don't blame. In fact, it was a similar to this. Alan Fletcher, we were drinking lager out of Irish stout glasses.
Yeah.
So I'm having Stella out of a Beamish glass at the moment.
Curves Axe. I couldn't put Ronnie James Dio in there, could I? Because he's not playing an instrument at the same time. This is it. This is all people, you know.
I mean, he does play an instrument because he played bass in
Elf.
No, he didn't play bass in Elf, but he did play bass before Elf. And he was well known for playing an instrument, but just not actually on records or on stage.
All right. Well, he's not on this list anyway. All right then. Next one. I think I know where this one's going.
There's more.
Oh yeah, there's 2 more franchises. It all
franchises.
Sorry. There's 2 more categories of quickfire rounds because at the end it all makes sense as well. Because you're gonna be doing something with Lemmy. Right, next one is favourite movie franchise.
Okay.
You ready?
Why not?
Harry Potter or Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious or Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park or The Matrix?
The Matrix.
Oh. The Matrix or The Hunger Games?
Oh, I quite liked them. I've only seen 1 or 2. 2.
I think there's about 5 of them.
I think I've seen the first 2. But
they are pretty good.
I'd have to
Battle Royale.
See, that first Matrix movie was like revolutionary when I saw it at the cinema.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Matrix.
The Matrix or Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. That's my favourite one.
Is that one with Sean Connery?
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. Well, it's franchise, so you know it's involved.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones or The Evil Dead?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings or Rocky?
Rocky.
Yes, thank you. Rocky or The Godfather?
Rocky.
Yeah. I should have skipped this one. Rocky or...
There's more?
Yeah. Rocky or the Batman Dark Knight trilogy?
Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
If it was... Oh, God.
Oh, there's more. There's these next 4. Well, actually...
Is it? I bet our chat room's going bananas now, isn't it?
It's Boss 2 saying, time for bed.
For us or for her?
No, maybe both. So the Dark Knight trilogy, or sorry, no, you're still on Rocky, aren't you? Rocky or Back to the Future?
Back to the Future.
Oh, fuck! Crying out loud. Okay. Back to the Future or James Bond?
Oh, Luke. Like any James Bond.
Well, all of them. There's
All
20.
of them?
There's 27.
Oh, well, James Bond.
Yeah. I mean, it's got the advantage for having the most movies out of everything I'm listed here.
Yeah, and if it's a franchise, Eon James Bond franchise, it's
Eon. What did he
Eon.
Did he work for Electric or something? The electric company.
Eon Productions.
Our mum worked for Eon.
You know,
once
I
upon a
can't
time.
tell you when
I don't
you've
think
had
she
a
was in
double,
James Bond.
quadruple drift buddy, whatever, on Twitch. What I can tell you,
Quadruple drift.
what the production company of the James Bond movies was.
James Bond or Star Trek?
James Bond.
James Bond or Star Wars?
James Bond.
James Bond wins. I knew it was going to be James Bond. The only ones I thought might have trumped you was Rocky and Back to the Future. Ready for the final one?
There's more!
This is it. This is the deciding thing. Now this one is your favourite type of potato.
Oh, I saw Larry do this.
Yeah. Ooh, like a good wedge.
Good wedgie.
Joe May's happy with your decision. Bond.
Has to win.
Mm-hmm. Here we go, everyone. It's the potato round. You know what happens after this?
What happens after this?
You'll find out, won't you? Favourite type of potato, then? We've got crisps or mashed potato.
Mashed potato.
Mashed potato or curly fries.
Mashed potato.
Mashed potato or hash browns.
Mashed potato.
Mashed potato or potato salad with mayonnaise.
Mashed potato. You sick bastard.
Eric in the chat has put with mayonnaise as well. mashed potato.
My God. You're all sick.
Mashed potato or potato gratin.
Ooh, potato gratin.
Oh. Potato gratin or potato wedges. I like a good wedge.
See, this is the problem. The potato wedges from like the takeaways here are really, really good deep fried. But then the ones that you get from soggy Lidl and put them in the air fryer, they're never the same, are they?
No.
I'll go for like takeaway wedges.
Yeah. Potato wedges or sweet potato fries.
Takeaway wedges.
Takeaway wedges or tater tots.
Yeah, takeaway wedges.
Bit too American for you, that, isn't it?
Too Yankee dude.
Takeaway wedges or a jacket potato.
Ooh, sweet potato, jacket potato.
I can change it.
I think there's a sweet potato, jacket potato.
I'd have loved it if you still said wedges then. Oh, a sweet potato one. Yeah. Wedges.
No, I'll stick with the wedges.
Sticking with the wedges.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Hungry now, though. Sticking with the wedges or classic French fries or Belgian fries. Whatever your favourite French fry or Belgian fry is.
Not chips.
No. Oh, that's coming up.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. Talking like those thin fuckers.
In Belgium?
No, we're not talking about big, chunky, chippy chips. We're talking about
right.
French fries, you know. Classic fries.
Yeah.
Thin.
Yeah, alright, yeah, fries.
Classic fries, right. Classic French fries or boiled potatoes.
You know what? I've got boiled potatoes. That sounds really weird, but with a roast dinner and a bit of butter and gravy. What's the matter with you now?
I can't believe we're doing this live. This is the next show. Boiled potatoes or a potato waffle. You know, like
Potato waffles.
You know, like we used to.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. This is the one now. Potato waffle or a roast potato.
What happened to chips? Where's the bloody chips?
This isn't over.
Oh, okay. Roast potato.
Finally, roast potato or proper chippy chips.
If you get it from a good chippy chips.
Chippy chip wins. Always. Well, usually the ones that win are roast potato or proper chippy chips.
See, if Aki's still on, proper chippy chips with slops of proper great chippy gravy or proper chip shop curry sauce.
Yeah. Right, so there you go.
Is that it?
Your perfect date is you and Lemmy watching James Bond films, eating proper chippy chips.
Sound, you know, I'm 200 miles away from what possibly could have been reality one day, you know.
Might have been a few bottles of Jack Daniels around as well, but yeah.
You know, he used to like to fry his own chips, you know.
Was he a James Bond fan as well?
He must have been.
He must have been. Right then, finally, we're going to wrap this up now, but they want a song, Chris.
Oh, God. I want a few tins now.
It's alright, me too.
What, can we do a short one?
Well, we're going to leave it up to them.
Is it going to be an Absolva one? Or
What
is it
song? It's going to be... It has to be an Absolva song that we are probably going to be doing this weekend. So put your requests in the chat right now, everybody, and I will put it in the poll right now. Side by side.
You have to make the choice.
Yeah, so the side by side. We could probably do that, couldn't we? Or is that a bit hard?
A bit long, isn't it? But it's a...
The thrill of the chase, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Or is it a bit high?
Everything's a bit high for this time. Refuse to die.
Refuse to...
You know,
What, you want to do that?
well, that's a bit easier. At least it
Is
can
it?
bounce around a bit.
Refuse to die.
Yeah, it's a bit...
Find my identity. That's actually worked really well acoustically.
Has it?
But you can do just an improv... Fucking... We're not on stage, are we?
Yeah,
Just like...
you told me to stop swearing.
No, I didn't. Right, I've got Side by Side, The Thrill of the Chase, Refuse to Die from Find My Identity.
You don't have to shout at me. I'm only sat here.
I'm not speaking to you. Ah. Excuse me. One more song, everybody. Someone's put From Beyond the Light. Is that a bit much?
Blimey.
Are we even doing that?
Yeah.
Are we?
This is somehow...
Hero in Your Light. Rise Again.
Oh, Byron. You did better at 8 o'clock, mate.
Well, name a song. You name a song. Which one would you like
I
to
thought
do?
you got a poll.
Yeah, I've got 4 of them on here. I need one more for the poll, and then.
Oh, right.
So you vote one for the
Have
thing.
you got Refuse to Die on?
Yeah.
You haven't. I can't see it.
You can't see anything. Those are. That's not the poll.
Oh, is it not?
That's
Is that
the chat.
Oh.
That's them
No, I
bloody
see
saying.
Find My Identity.
Yeah, I've put that on the. Oh my good lord.
What about a nice little ditty?
Only when it's over.
Oh, it's a bit
Bit
somber
too
for the end.
Code Red. Justice. Oh god, no. It's a bit much right now, isn't it? What else are we doing?
Go to bed, hopefully.
What did we... Oh, Flames of Justice was pretty good.
Was it?
Oh no, Fire in the Sky was good.
Was it?
Acoustically.
Oh, Fire in the Sky. I think I can bloody get myself through that one.
Here we go, everybody.
Is anybody still
poll
listening?
is... Yeah, we've still got 30 odd people on.
Are they?
Right, which one would you like to do out of them? Because I can vote.
Fire in the Sky or Refuse to Die sounds good to me.
I fancy Fire in the Sky.
Oh yeah, what about that? No, tomorrow. Will he could get? Oh no, can't.
I've started the poll.
I don't understand what you're doing.
Everybody, right, I put a poll up for which 5 songs we're going to play, and they choose which one we're going to play.
You can't change it after you've done it.
No, it's done. Well, I mean, we could do whatever we want, but it'd be a little bit unorthodox right now.
And it's like, you know.
Yeah, no, we're getting a bit... It's 2.5 hours we've been on now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a toss-up between Side by Side. Side by Side, Find My Identity, and Fire in the Sky.
I can't see the poll.
I think Find My Identity is going to win.
I can't see anything. You could be lying about any of this.
Do you want to have a look? There's 15 votes for Side by Side. There's 6 votes for Thrill of the Chase. 5 votes for Refuse to Die. 19 votes for Find My Identity. 11 votes for Fire in the Sky. It's amazing that, because there's only 26 people in the chat as well. But they can use points to vote extra. You've never played that solo, have you?
No, it's a bit impossible for me.
F sharp. It's just F sharp.
We'll just
Fire in the Sky wins. There you go.
How do you know?
Because it's just won. It was on 32% of the votes there. How much do you want Fire in the Sky? I love it. I love it. I think there was a couple of you using some points there. So don't have a go at Alan Fletcher. Alan Fletcher's the man. That's right, Eric, 32. Right, there you go. You can play Fire in the Sky, can't you?
Yeah, in some capacity. Oh, you're playing off. What is this cricket bat that you're playing here? Looks like
Ortega. Right, everybody, we're going to play this song and then we're going to call it a night. So,
yeah.
Thank you very much. Any final words there, Chris?
Cheers. Go to bed after this, alright? Go to bed. Oh, you're just going to play it on your own, eh?
I can't remember what I do on the bass for this. Anyway.
It's in G.
G. Right, go on then.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nothing is clear, but the answer is near.
Please won't you give me a sign?
Destiny calls, I will fly, will not fall.
Dark is night, I must run.
Destiny calls. We'll fly, will not fall. Destiny calls out for you. The star in the sky. Destiny calls out for you.
That is it.
That's it. There you go, everybody. Thank you very, very, very much.
Well, the next time I do this thing, I'll say, "Oh, are you expecting me to sing?" I said, "Oh, no, 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 no," and then I end up doing two of the highest songs.
That's all right. Excellent. Thank you all so very much. Hey, it looks quite nice now with all the lights, doesn't it? Oh, God. Come and check us out. We are playing Belgium this weekend for a special acoustic set. The two of us plus Aki at the LP Club in Deinze, Belgium. Make sure you come and check us out. Check out our brand new music video that was released a couple of hours ago. Street Fighters of Blackford Bridge. You can find it on our YouTube channel. You can also come and check out our pre-order for One Night in Mannheim, our new live album that's going to be released very, very soon in September. Come see us on tour with Absolva. Come see us on tour with Blaze Bayley. That is me and Chris signing out. Any final words, Chris?
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Wonderful.
Before we leave, our top cheerers of the week and our top gifters of the week as well. At the top of the lead, we've got Alan Fletcher with 6 gifts this week. And then in second place, we've got Mars with 5 gifts. Big thank you to both of you. Thank you so much. Our top weekly cheerers, Mars again, right at the top with 3,000 bits. Alan Fletcher in second place with 1,500. Ice Gems, third place, 850. Raven in fourth with 400. Metal Sam in fifth with 120. Eric in 6th with 100. Sean Miles with 100. And Sonny with 40. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the support. We shall see you very, very soon. Until then, bye-bye.